I've recently received a couple of questions about my alcohol series and how it all started. Truth be told, I think it's my consumer's mind that actually really likes watching any type of haul video from other people, whether it's a grocery haul, a shopping haul of any sort. So when I thought about shopping for wine, at least bi-weekly or monthly, and bringing all of the bottles home, the thought just crossed my mind, wouldn't it be interesting to anyone to see what wine I purchase every month or every 2 weeks or so? And then, of course, the play on word alcohol was just kind of called for. And that's how it all started. And the 2 previous episodes of alcohols that I already had, I was very skeptical about. I wasn't sure if people would like them or not, but surprisingly to me, a few of you actually commented saying that you like them. So here we go, yet another alcohol. Hello everyone, welcome back to my wine diary. If you are new to this channel, by the end of this video, if you liked it, please make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. Check out my other content as well. I shoot videos that are all wine related. Maybe there will be something that you'll enjoy and want to see more of. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being here yet again for another episode of my alcohol. So this one is yet again a Trader Joe's alcohol. It just so happened to be, it's actually not meant this way, and this is not sponsored. I wish, but it's not. So yeah, it just so happened that I went to Trader Joe's again for groceries, and I got 8 bottles of wine, which will most likely last me through the whole month of September, maybe even more. So we'll see. But what I wanted to share with you are the bottles that I got, and I have some interesting selection this time around. Some of them are my go-tos, a couple of bottles that I always get, so you'll probably remember them from my previous alcohols, and a couple are new and a little bit different. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first 2 bottles that I have here in front of me are Spanish wines, and the reason why I gravitated towards them at the store is actually the fact that we recently went to Puerto Rico for the first time with my husband and my little baby boy, and all the restaurants that we went to, the wine selection that they had, especially so the house wines that they had, were all Spanish wines. So you got to choose from either Albarino for whites or Tempranillo for the reds. There were some Garnacha wines as well. So all of that kind of got me revisit my love for Spanish wines, and when I saw these 2 at Trader Joe's, I had to grab them. So the first one here is a 2021 Syrah, and it is by Castilla. I apologize for butchering Spanish. I do not speak it, unfortunately, but I hope I'm pronouncing this well. So a Spanish Syrah sounded very good to me. And the second bottle that I have right here is a Syrah and Garnacha blend from 2019. And here's how the bottle looks like. Very, very pretty looking bottle, and it's textured. I love these touches by winemakers when they make their bottles interesting like this. It's just very pleasing to me. And this is by the company, or by the winery, called Satis Day. I hope I pronounced this right. And if I don't, please correct me in the comments below. The next bottle that I grabbed is a 2016 bottle of Bordeaux, red Bordeaux, and it is by the brand Exilium. I've never had this before, and I love Bordeaux wines, honestly, both reds and whites, but the red Bordeaux specifically. And this is a Bordeaux Superior 2016, and it just seemed very promising. So I went ahead and grabbed this one. The next bottle right here is a good old Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a Californian Cabernet Sauvignon by Joel Gott, and this is a 2019 vintage. I love Cabernets from California, preferably from Napa, and this one is actually a mix of grapes harvested in Lodi and Napa as well. So I think because this brand is pretty well known, they know what they're doing. I have not tried this wine before, but I'm looking forward to it. An important nuance that I almost forgot to tell you about is that all the bottles that I got were under $20 each, or at $20 each and no more. So none of them exceeded $20 in price per bottle. And you guys know how much I praise Trader Joe's prices when it comes to wines. They do have expensive bottles, so I don't want for you to think that Trader Joe's is like a place for cheap wine. Not at all. They definitely have a huge range when it comes to prices and selection, and their wines start with like $5 a piece. I mean, you can find some really, really cheap wines out there. And quite frankly, I have one bottle specifically that I'm about to show you that is my go-to that I purchase every single time I go there. Sometimes I even grab a couple just to have them at home. But it's a very drinkable wine. It tastes really good, and it costs $5.99. So it's just mind-boggling to me. But they definitely have a higher range wines as well. So you can find bottles for $40, $50, $60. So first of all, don't be a stickler to the price necessarily. Higher priced wine doesn't necessarily mean that it's better wine than a $20 or $30 bottle of wine is. Do your research, know what you're buying, know what you're looking for, because price doesn't always translate into better quality. And this is the bottle that I just talked to you about. So the $5.99, I'm pretty sure it's still $5.99. Maybe it's $6.99 now, but I think it's $5.99. Is this bottle of Primitivo by Epicuro. I talked about this Primitivo before. I actually shot a separate video on Primitivo versus Zinfandel that you guys can check out. But this Primitivo, so Epicuro makes other wines as well. It's an Italian brand, but this Primitivo specifically is just what you're looking for in a Primitivo. It's from Puglia, Italy. It tastes delicious, especially if you give it some time to breathe in a decanter, or at least pop an aerator. Little tip here. It tastes amazing. We've had families and friends over for years now, offering this wine to them at times, and they were all very, very pleased. So for the price, I think this bottle of Epicuro Primitivo specifically so is an absolute steal, and if you haven't tried it yet, you should. This bottle right here is a blend of Syrah and Cabernet. It is a 50-50 blend of Syrah Cabernet, and this is another bottle that I grab every time I go to Trader Joe's. The cost of this one, I think, is around $8. So again, it's a very inexpensive wine, very different flavor profile from the Primitivo that I just showed you, but this is a very delicious, aromatic, rich red blend, and both of these grapes, both Cabernet and Syrah, are just the pinnacle of my list when it comes to red wine. So I absolutely love both Syrahs and Cabernet. So when you blend the two together, it's close to perfection. So this one, for how much the bottle cost, is a very, very good bottle of a red blend. So if you haven't tried it out yet, make sure to find it at your Trader Joe's. We're now down to the two last bottles that I purchased at Trader Joe's, and I told you that I got a couple of interesting ones. They are interesting to me. They're a little bit different. So for those of you guys who watch my videos pretty regularly, you know that I am on this exploration journey of pet nets. And the reason why I get so excited about pet nets is because for some magical reason, they're actually not that easy to find in stores around me. So every time I see a pet net, I get very excited. So in one of my last videos, that was actually an alcohol from Trader Joe's, I scored a bottle of pet net, and it was a rosé pet net. I then made a video about pet nets specifically. Check it out if you don't know what Pétillant Naturel is and what it's about, what kind of wine that is. So I tried it in front of the camera, and I honestly wasn't that big of a fan. It wasn't really my cup of tea. It was a little sweeter. Yeah, it was definitely not what I thought it would be, but it was fizzy, it was light, it was delicious. So I promised to myself that I'm not going to form my opinion about pet nets just based on that specific bottle that I got. So I said that I'd be on a lookout for other pet nets, and I'll give some other ones a go. Lo and behold, I'm at Trader Joe's this week, and I see another bottle of pet net, of course. So here it is, and this time around it is a white Pétillant Naturel. It is from 2022 vintage. It's a sparkling white wine. So pet nats are very interesting for those of you guys who are like wine aficionados, or maybe people who just love exploring new wines. Definitely try a pet nat. So clearly it's called a pétillant naturel. So natural, the word natural is in the name of this wine for a reason. Please make sure to watch my video to find out why it's called this way. But it's got a slight fizz to it, not as much fizz as a normal sparkling wine has. So it's a lighter type of wine, naturally fizzed. This one here is 12.5% alcohol, 12.5% ABV. It honestly tastes even lighter. It doesn't even taste like 12.5 or 13%. The other one that I got was about the same, about 12% ABV. So I'm excited to try this one just to see if I feel any differently about it. Remember that pet nats have the crown cap like beers and ciders do, so they don't actually have a cork, which makes them look even funkier. So yeah, a very peculiar wine style to me. And the labels are always very artistic and pretty. This one is not an exception. Take a peek. It's got like almost a painting on the background. So yeah, although my first experience with pet nats just a month or two ago wasn't what I expected, I am not giving up on this wine style. I definitely want to explore more and see maybe there's one out there that I truly love, and it may be this one. The last out of the 8 bottles that I got on this Trader Joe's trip is a bottle of Prosecco Superiore. So you guys, I actually don't drink that much sparkling wine normally, but I always have a bottle or two of sparkling wine at home just for when I'm in the mood for it or when a certain occasion calls for it. And I normally go for the sparkling wines that are made in the traditional method, such as champagne and cavas. Cavas more so than champagnes just because of the cost. And yeah, the fact that they taste very similar to champagnes if you find a good bottle, and they cost just a fraction of the price. So Proseccos are not my go-to when it comes to sparkling wines. However, anytime I can put my hands on the DOCG designation when it comes to Italian wines and Proseccos specifically, that's when I always grab one or two. And if you guys are not familiar with the DOC or DOCG certification, well, first of all, DOCG is the highest qualification that an Italian wine can get. But if you want to learn more about that, please check out my videos on Italian wines on this channel. I'll link 1 or 2 here for you as well. But essentially in my 5 Italian wines that you need to know on the Chianti wine video, I explained that as well. So check it out and just learn what this little label means. It's essentially an import-export label here, export label that Italian wines must have on them. And if you see a DOCG, not just DOC, DOC ones are fine too, but DOCG is the highest qualification. So it's even better than your DOC labels. So yes, long story short, I grabbed this Prosecco and this is how the bottle looked like. It was actually on the pricier side when it comes to Proseccos because Proseccos are normally pretty inexpensive. So this bottle here was close to, I want to say $18 or $20 if I'm not mistaken. And this one specifically is from Verona, Italy, 2022 vintage. And it says Conigliano Val de Biadene on the label. If I butchered that, Italians, please forgive me. I just love pronouncing Italian words, although I don't speak the language. So yeah, the bottle looks very nice. I can't wait to try it. It's very promising because of its designation, and I'm sure I'm not going to get disappointed. And this is everything for today's video. Guys, if you like this style of videos, please make sure to comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. Share with me, what do you buy when you go to shop for wines? What wines have you recently scored? Maybe some interesting finds in your local stores or wine stores. So just let me know. Very interested. And check out my other videos as well. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And until next time, cheers everyone.